Hello, I'm going to talk with you today about working with gender non-conforming and trans youth in the spirit of the hit song Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. So you got it? Na, 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 na. Keep that in mind as we go along. So I believe if young people, youth themselves, have the moxie to come out as their true and authentic genders, that the thing we need to do is just believe them, which is why the title of this talk is Let's Start Believing. It's as simple as that, and there's some understanding that goes behind that I'll try to give you some tips about today. So our sex assigned at birth is what the doctor labels us, male or female when we're born. Then we're dressed in pink and blue. Then people call us he and she. Then they give us dolls or trucks, and here creates the gender binary. Inside of that, oftentimes, the definitions of sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender are conflated. So it's important to understand that those are different things, and that they exist on this continuum, and they're not binary. They exist on a continuum. If you do a quick Google search of what is boy, girl, man, woman, you see images like these, which bring various iterations of what this gender binary expects us, how the gender binary expects us to live. Even within the trans community, folks who identify as transgender, there's still this gender norm. Not all trans folks are white, not all trans folks are wealthy, not all trans folks fit neatly within this gender binary, but that's the narrative that we hear in social media and in the media in general. So me as a trans person who fits neatly inside of that binary, I have access to lots and lots of spaces that other people don't have access to because of this social construction and the social norm. But what is it like? For me as a therapist and a youth worker, I think about that. What is it like for folks who identify as gender non-binary or not within that gender, or who don't fit well within that gender binary? And maybe those folks, the trans folks, the gender non-conforming, gender non-binary folks are the mysterious streetlight people that come up in that song, and we wonder, what are they talking about in the Don't Stop Believing? So what makes our gender? How do I know what my gender is? I feel like we just know. When I was 6, I told my mom I'm a boy. She said, no, you're a girl. I told my teacher I'm a boy. She said, no, you're a girl. And so I tried to do whatever that means. If there's no other options, what else is it that we do? So if we have the ability and the privilege to be born in one assigned sex at birth, and our gender matches that, our gender expression fits that societal norm, then we might not think anything about it. But knowing that there's a binary and many, many ways in which people can identify within that is imperative to respect one another in our gender identities. So understanding isn't required to respect and value people inside of their identities. It's just not required. We don't need to understand. So just a few tips for practitioners, for providers. Names are hugely important. So people use their name, we use their name back. That feels respectful. Sometimes it gets tricky. I have to bill insurance, so I'll ask people, what's the name on your insurance? And I'll know that maybe that's different, but I try to stay away from things like what's your real name or your labeled at birth name, things like that. What's your name? Pronouns are complicated too because in English, there is no gender-neutral pronoun as there are in other languages. So how do we respect people's pronoun? By listening to how they identify themselves and follow their lead. They, as a singular pronoun, is something that's used in our society, and it might take some getting used to, but I'm going to demonstrate quickly. Hey, friend, what are you doing tonight? Oh, my friend Sam's coming over. They'll be here at 8. Oh, I thought Sam was coming by themselves. Is it just Sam? No, Sam's coming. They'll be here at 8. Great, I hope Sam brings me cake. Right? They. It can be used as a singular pronoun, and it works. You just need to get used to it. And there's all sorts of other ways that people use pronouns to get around this English thing that doesn't allow for neutrality. So if you make mistakes and you misgender somebody, you just need to say, I'm sorry, and move on. There's no need to do anything but that. Continue the conversation, apologize, and move on. Bodies are important, specifically for public health workers. Sometimes we ask questions about bodies, so knowing that people identify their bodies differently and have variations of body features is important to remember to be respectful when asking questions. How people use their bodies vary as well. So how do we ask questions of people and how they use their bodies? It has an impact on the care that we provide for them and the data that we gather. So if, after this talk, you need to go to your local karaoke joint and sing Don't Stop Believing at the top of your lungs to have this make sense for you, know that I'll be in the back clapping furiously and supporting you no matter how you sound. Thank you.